Well, hello everybody out there. This is Jake here, and welcome to this episode of just jaking around on YouTube. Shit. If you can't already tell by my voice, I'm just gonna go out and say it. I just literally got back to the campground after spending 2 full days and nights with my big brother Andrew. So I just spent the last 2 nights and 2 days with my brother Andrew, and well, it's occurred to me that I never really did a video telling you the story about me and him. I am going to, so I figured since the vlog that I did, that I filmed yesterday, which was supposed to be vlog number 3, it really wasn't as long as I was hoping it would be. So I figured I would just kind of talk about that in this video and then include all the footage from yesterday and stuff. But you can tell in my voice, I'm pretty emotional. Every time that we get together, the closer we get. So I was adopted when I was 3 months old, and my brother Andrew is the oldest. I'm one of 5 boys. I'm the youngest of 5 boys that were all adopted out in separate homes. And growing up, my entire life, I knew that I had brothers. You know, I knew that I was adopted. The whole term of adoption or adopted was not foreign in my family. Like some families, when they adopt kids, they choose to not tell their children that they were adopted, which I never understood. But in my family, I grew up knowing that I was adopted. That goes without saying. My parents that adopted me did a phenomenal job not making me feel like the adopted kid, if that makes sense. I know I'm going into stereotypes, but you know, whatever. So I was about 4 years ago, I made the decision to go register for Ancestry DNA, and I took a DNA test because growing up, I was always told that I was Native American, and obviously, you know, the stuff that I've been wearing in these past vlogs, it's very obvious that I do indeed have Native American ancestry. I'm not full-blooded. There's parts of me from other places too, but I do have Native American ancestry, and that's the culture that I've felt the most connected to. Hence why I'm making this video by this beautiful stream of water that's flowing into Lake Charlevoix. But anyways, so I wanted to take a DNA test just to see if that was the case or whatever, you know. I'm just curious because this is what I was told. I want to know for sure, whatever. Well, about a year after I took that test, I received a message from somebody, and he went by Nocon or Nikon, that camera that people use, you know, professional video camera, because he likes to do photography, and I didn't recognize the name at first, so I thought maybe this was a scam. And the message read, "Hey, I think we might be first cousins or we might be brothers." And like I said, at first I thought, well, this has got to be a scam. I don't know who this person is. Well, then I clicked on the profile and I looked at it and it said Andrew on it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I know that I have a 4th brother named Andrew. So I decided to message him back, and I'm like, well, I know that I have a brother named Andrew. That's what I said to him. I said, your name sounds very familiar. And then he's like, well, what's the name of your birth mom? So I told him the name of my birth mom, and then he was like, holy shit, we're brothers. And wow, that message was definitely one of the most life-changing messages I think I've ever received in my life. You know, I've had a lot of really happy memories in my 31 years that I've been on this earth, but this one is definitely, besides my sister being born, obviously, but I was kind of little, I don't really remember that. But still, this definitely was life-changing for sure. So you have to understand, I was at a point in my life where I wanted absolutely nothing to do with my biological side of the family. I had already had a relationship with 3 of my 4 brothers, and due to circumstances I don't want to get into on this vlog, I ended up walking away. So by the time Andrew came into my world, it had already been about 11 years since I cut ties with anyone on my biological side of the family. I still have not met my birth mom, I have not met my birth dad, and I have absolutely no desire to do so. And I know some people who might watch this video might be like, well, why? Well, I was put up for adoption right at birth. My birth mom didn't even get to hug me or hold me, neither did my dad. The people that raised me since I was 3 months old are my real family. You know, as far as my parents are concerned, I don't consider my birth mom or birth dad parents at all. I don't even like using that word dad or mom at all. I just like to say the people who gave life to me, I guess, if that makes sense, but whatever. Anyways, I was at this point where I wanted nothing to do with him, but I had just had a falling out with a friend who I was kind of close to, and I kind of wanted that brotherly connection again. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this a chance. I'm a different person than I was back then. Maybe this is worth it. And boy, was it worth it. Something that I've never really brushed on this vlog that I've done, or all these vlogs that I've done, is the fact that, you know, we all have people in our lives that, you know, come into our lives for a particular reason. And I often wonder why I changed my mind, and I often wonder why I went with it and gave it a chance and messaged him back instead of blocking him or ignoring the message. Why I made the decision to pursue a relationship with him in the first place after the history I had with the other siblings and that I've met, and how it didn't really go in my favor. But about my brother found me. My brother sent me that message on the Ancestry on a Wednesday. That following Monday, I had a plan to commit suicide. And when my brother sent me that message, I stopped and I thought about it for a second. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I go through with this, then my brother is not going to, maybe this connection that I might develop with him is never going to be. But his message, basically, the point I'm trying to make is that message, and then the next day we videoed each other for the first time on video and knew that, okay, yeah, there's definitely going to be some sort of a connection. We just didn't know how close we were going to become. I never thought that I would have allowed myself to become close to people, you know. I have a very hard time getting close to people anymore. The people who are in my life, who I get close to, usually seem to go away after I get close to them. I have friends that stay in my world for 2 or 3 years. We get very close with one another, and just as we're starting to get a deeper bond, something happens, either on my end or their end, and they go away. So I've been living in this shelter of, you know, kind of like putting like I like to say like a helmet on, if that makes sense, where I don't allow myself to open up, or I try to not open up to people, or not only that, but I try to not let myself get close to others, because I'm terrified of losing the people that I love the most. But anyways, so I I know that this term gets used a lot, and I know it sounds very cliche, and I know that everyone that's going to watch this video that has siblings, either brothers or sisters or both, because I happen to have a sister too who lives with me. But that everyone's going to say, just like their parents, oh, my parents are the best, or my brother was the best brother ever, or things of that sort. I think all of us view our siblings, hopefully, I hope for those of you who watch my videos that you guys have relationships with your siblings, or, you know, even if you weren't adopted and they were just your whatever, you know, but whatever. So the term that I like to use a lot when it comes to my brother Andrew is the term superhero. And I mean that sincerely. My brother literally saved my life. He was the one that gave me another reason to continue on another couple of days. And then a couple of days turned into a year turned into 2. And now here we are celebrating this is now our 3rd summer together since we met. And that's why at the beginning of the video, as you noticed, I got kind of choked up, and I might get choked up by the end of this too. I can already feel it coming because, again, I remember seeing a quote once on Facebook, and the quote said something along the lines of, there is no love like the love of a brother, and there is no love like the love you get from a brother. And I'm sure all brothers and sisters out there hopefully can feel the same way. I know I'm the big brother when it comes to my sister. My sister's the youngest, and my sister was not adopted. My adoptive parents who adopted me, or my real parents as I call them, had her naturally. So we don't share the same blood at all, but we're kind of close too, just like how me and my brother are close. But there's a certain kind of love that you only can get from a brother, just like there's a certain type of love that you can only receive from a sister as well. A certain type of bond, a special kind of bond. And you know, when I was little, I remember when I still believed in Santa Claus, my mom told me a story that one time I sat on his, the mall Santa's lap, and I asked him for a brother or a sister. And all my life, that's all I've wanted. I wanted a brother and a sister. That's all I wanted. And eventually, someone to fall in love with too. But that's later on down the road. It took me, I was 29 when my brother found me on Ancestry.com. And, here I am. Took me 29 years to finally get that brother and sister. And now my friends, my family is, my family's complete. I finally have that family that I always wanted, so I'm sorry, I apologize for getting emotional. These aren't the kinds of videos that I normally do on this channel, but I cannot hide away from how I feel about those who I love and care about the most. When I get close to people, I tend to get really close to people. And that's a good thing, but it's also a catch-22 because you worry a lot about those people. You can't imagine your life without those people in your world. Like I always told my best friend Brett, who's like another brother to me. And I always told him that one of my biggest fears is losing him and losing my brother and losing my other, the people who I consider family or I consider really, really close. I have 3 tiers when it comes to friends. I have acquaintances, I have friends, and then I have family when it comes to friends in general. Even though my brother Andrew is biologically my brother still, he's also considered a best friend to me as well. Same thing with my sister. She's also kind of like a best friend. So my circle of best friends, that's what I consider family. Then I have friends who are friends, Then I have acquaintances who I barely even talk to, but I still care about. But that's my biggest fear, you know, is losing the people that I'm close to. And every time that I'm with my brother Andrew and we part ways, I always end up getting emotional. I cry every single time. It doesn't matter if we only spend a day together, 2 days together, a week together. It doesn't matter. I'm the days that I leave to, you know, rather in this case going back to the campground or going back home, I just get really, really depressed and down and bent out of shape. And it's not because I'm sad, it's more of an overwhelming happiness, if that makes sense. Some of you may not know this, but I'm on the autism spectrum. I'm autistic, for my new subscribers. I brought it up a few times in different vlogs that I've made throughout the years, or throughout the last year and a half or whatever, but it's something I don't really brush on that much. And autism comes with a lot of good qualities, a lot of really good qualities. And one of those qualities is a lot of us, even though a lot of people in Hollywood like to portray us as emotionless, you know, zombies, and we're incapable of feeling things, that's not the case at all. Most of the people who I know in my life who are autistic feel a lot deeply and have more compassion and empathy for other people than people who aren't on the spectrum. But one of the things that I struggle with being autistic myself is I struggle with, well, I don't struggle with emotions, but I struggle on not necessarily processing my emotions. That's the term I'm going to go with for this video. When I feel things, I feel things. When I feel pain, I feel a lot of pain. What might be a normal cat scratch to you feels like a razor cut to me. When I love, I love. When I care about somebody to the point where I cry every time we say goodbye, even though I know it's only going to be a little while before I see them again, those are deep emotions. And like I said, it's a catch-22. Sometimes I ask myself why I feel the way I feel. Like, why do I allow myself to sob every time I leave my brother, even though we're only going to see each other, you know? I guess that's a part of it. Me and my brother live on different sides of the state. He lives up north and I live towards Detroit, and we both kind of live somewhat busy lives. He does especially, and we don't have a lot of money in both of us, so we can't always travel. So the only time I only get to see my brother every 3 to 4 months, and sometimes sooner than that if I'm lucky, but there's been times where I haven't seen him for 5 months or 6 months. So even though we're going to see each other again, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a while. And when you have a bond with somebody and you're close with somebody, it doesn't matter if it's going to be next week or today or tomorrow or 2 months from now, you know. Of course you're going to feel that way. And I used to beat myself up for my emotions. If I would come back from visiting my brother a sobby mess, and I would be, suck it up, deal with it, it's okay. An example of that would be the other day when Brett left on Saturday morning to go back home. And when he took off that morning, I actually started to cry. Now, I see Brett a lot. We go to the gym together pretty much 2 to 3 days a week, every single week, except for this week because I've been on vacation. So I'm going to see him on Monday, most likely. This Monday coming up, we're going to be at the gym working out together. But I didn't get emotional because he was leaving. I got emotional because I got to see him in a different frame of mind. I got to see him smile and laugh and let loose and have a great time. And, you know, that makes me happy. It really does. It makes me happy to see the people that I care about the most happy. And, you know, I'm not going to shield away from that anymore. I'm not going to feel embarrassed for getting emotional or for feeling the way I feel about people, because it means that I care about them and it means that I love them. And I think everybody in this world needs somebody like that in their lives, that cares about them so much to the point where, you know, it ends up becoming a soap opera by the time you have to leave. You know, I thank the Creator every single day for the people that are in my life. I often wonder a lot what it is that I did to deserve the people that I have. Sometimes I feel like I'm undeserving of that love, or I shouldn't say undeserving of that love, but sometimes I feel like, you know, maybe I should live up to a little bit more to receive that love, if that makes sense. I'm my harshest critic, as you can't tell. If you've seen some of my other videos that I've made recently before I came up north, you know, I'm my harshest critic. You know, the catchphrase that a lot of people like to use with me is, I try. That I should get a t-shirt that says I try on it, because that's what I say to people. If I'm at the gym and I'm, you know, lifting weights or whatever, and somebody comes up to me, which happens quite often, and compliments me on it. Hey, I seen you lifting. You're doing a great job, man. Keep it up. Instead of saying, yeah, thank you so much, my response is, yeah, I try, but I can do better. And that's the thing, is always wanting to do better. I know I'm getting off topic, and that's another video for another day, but sometimes I wonder why I have the people that I have, why the Creator sent me these blessings. And that's what I call them, you know. My brother is a blessing. My sister is a blessing. My best friend Brett is a blessing in my world. My friend William, you know, all my other family that I don't really talk about that much by name, you know, my aunts and my uncles and my grandma, and, you know, all the people that I have been blessed with in my 31 years on this earth, and the connections that I've been able to make with people. And, you know, it's been a really amazing 3 years since me and my brother met. And there's not enough words to describe just how thankful and how overwhelmed with joy that I feel to be able to tell people that I have a brother and a sister. Like I said before, my family's complete now. And whatever God you believe in, whether it's the Creator or Jesus or Muhammad or whatever God you choose to worship or preach, or no God at all, whatever it is that you believe, I'm just very, very thankful to whoever that is for giving me the joy of not only being able to be called a big brother to my sister, but a little brother to my brother. You know, this vacation started out with me and Brett and my brother, and to have my three brothers to start this trip off with was, I think that maybe that's why this trip's kind of hitting me a little bit harder than other trips that I've taken. There's been times where I've gone up to see my brother and I've gotten emotional, but not like, you know, not like you probably have seen. Because there was just so much happiness with this, you know, getting to see my best friend have a really good time and get to do the things he's been wanting to do all summer, and finally accomplishing some of his dreams of seeing certain things up here that he got to see, that he's always wanted to see. And, you know, the joy in his face and the happiness that he had, and then to be able to introduce him to my biological brother, and then him and my brother got along very, very well, and you know, now they're good friends, and that makes me really happy to know that my brother and my best friend are friends. You know, it's been an amazing time up here, and you know, here I am sitting here in the woods overlooking Lake Charlevoix, sobbing my eyes out, trying to keep myself together for this, what's going to be a pretty long video. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you back on the next one.
There was one of their chefs that was hanging out downtown, got really drunk one night, stumbled down here and just grabbed one of those out of here with his bare hand and took it up to the tap room and just spent his night napping on that top porch in the back above where we put your bike. And he smoked the trout all night on the grill they used to have on the porch. And Hagen comes in the morning like, "What are you doing?" He's like, I'm smoking a trout. "Where'd you get it?" "Oh, from the pond down there." It's like, "You're not supposed to do that." He goes, "I know, but it was middle of the night." I was like, "Oh, please, Becky, look at them." Oh. You guys are... You're having fun today.
Oh, it's showing off.
There's also a local kid in town. I forget his name. A bit more and you can film them swarming on the food. This one's going to be fun. And it's all gone already. Service up there where our time is.
You're in a tourist town. Basically everybody that's here right now are old people. That's all I've been seeing lately. Mostly just old people.
Fly down before they're going to escape the snow. Then they come back here to their multi-million-dollar second homes.
So we're getting ready to go and explore the north side of Charlevoix, which I've never been to before. And we're going to hang out over there. Then we're going to make our way to this place called the Rooftop Bar to watch the, have a couple drinks and watch the Emerald Isle ferry come in. And then we'll figure out what to do from there.
A little bit more shopping and
make it a day. We're going to be here for a few hours for sure.
Kind of northern Michigan, I don't remember where. But I started with 30 bucks, and at the end of the night, after tipping out the bartender a good $50 and giving back the money to the guy next to me who lent me his chips to split on Aces, I walked away with over $300 that night. It was fun. We're gonna walk up these stairs.
Alright. That's a private beach there.
Yeah, I was gonna cross, but then I saw the signs and thought,
Probably not a good idea.
There is a little road up here you can go to where you can kind of look out at the lake a little bit.
Yeah, it's mostly just locals and old people. Oh, it's so beautiful.
I actually haven't walked up these stuff. We were just down there at the wine bar on the other side of the street. Bridge Street Tap Room's right in front of us. Those little blue umbrellas. That's our patio. Doesn't look too busy. It's a beautiful view. And in half an hour, pretty much right at the time we'll be finishing these, the ferry will come right from over behind you. It'll come right along this channel. You can see it open.
So we're about to watch the bridge go up here from on top of the
ferry is
bar.
going to be coming right through in just a minute or two.
That's so cool how they can do that. Just goes up.
Yeah. There's a big counterweight underneath that lets it do that without stressing the motors too hard.
When did this bridge first?
1949. Started construction in 1947. And here's the ferry coming through. Turn and come back and then back right up to their dock.
This reminds me so much of like Oregon or, you know, like a coastal state kind of thing with like the ferry and all that stuff. Or Seattle, there you go. I remember that opening for Grey's Anatomy where they're always on the ferry.
Yep, it's coming in, then it's going to sweep around. Right up to where it needs to, which should be right with that.
so cool. How that big boat can just back up like that.
Takes a lot of skill. I mean, their crew's been doing that for decades. So it's like riding a bike for them.
Is there like a helipad on that thing or no?
Nah.
Because I know like some of them like have the
Oh, some of the big yachts do.
yeah, in case they had to evacuate somebody or whatever.
But they have like lifeboats and everything. Those metal cylinders you can see along the side, the little
Yeah.
aluminum tubes.
Yeah.
Those are some of the lifeboats. And they've got some on top too.
But that ship has never sank, so likeliness of that happening is very low.
Yeah, between here and Beaver Island, very unlikely. I mean, I've seen that go through some pretty choppy waters. It can handle some pretty good waves.